You think you know what we're going to talk about.
But unfortunately, I fell down a damn rabbit hole and I've not gotten out yet.
Knife bros.
I literally Googled Sebastian Stan hands.
But just when you least expect it, we changed the game.
Well, yeah, because like usually in astrology, they would partner up air signs with fire signs.
All right, you can huggle.
Time travel stories, and
At the end of the day, only one thing matters. We decide.
Well, we should make it a topic. Unfortunately, I didn't take German in school. I took Spanish and I don't remember any of it.
Three Fates Decide podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Mary. Welcome back to another episode of Three Fates Decide. I'm with my two co-hosts, Sam and Liz. Say hi, ladies.
Hello.
hi-yo.
Today we are going to be talking about and discussing the Marvel movie Black Widow. So here's going to be in big, bold, flashing red letters. Spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert. There will be spoilers in this episode. If you have not seen Black Widow and you wish to not be spoiled and watch the movie, please turn off the podcast now.
Come back later.
Yes, come. Well,
and Black Widow is
back.
available.
Yeah, come back next week for next week's podcast, because this podcast is pretty much going to be almost all spoilers. But this is a great time to stock up on getting the Disney Plus sub, because you can watch it in the comfort of your own home.
Mm-hmm. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. We are not sponsored by Disney, but hey, Disney, we're available.
We got you. Marvel.
Hey, we were
Yeah,
like we've talked about your stuff before, man.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Help us out.
we pretty much speak highly of you.
Listen, I wouldn't need money is not necessarily a thing. I just want to meet some people.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm
let me
not-
just meet some people. I have a list.
Same.
You know.
Same. I mean, it's not like it's not like we're asking you to throw money our direction.
I mean, that'd be nice too, but
Well, yeah,
mostly,
but that's
I
not
just
the
want to meet
main
some people.
motivation.
Yeah. But I'll start with just meeting some people.
Exactly.
Fine.
We just want to meet some people and make some new friends. That's all we want to do.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh God. So,
All
we're gonna go through a quick synopsis of the plot. We'll go through obviously our likes, our dislikes. We'll talk about kind of the craziness that has gone on in terms of like the delay of it coming out, and obviously most of us know about Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit with Disney as a result of this movie. So we'll try and get everything in this lovely episode. So without further ado,
yes.
there is Black Widow. Just for anyone who wants to know, this takes place after Captain America's Civil War. There were some people that thought it was after Infinity War or something like that, but it's after Captain America in Civil War.
Yes.
So we start out back in the day, in 1995. We were all born, hey. But there's a super soldier, Alexei Shotskov, and a Black Widow, Melina Vostokov, and they are Russian undercover agents, and they're posing as a family in Ohio, and with their quote-unquote daughters, who is Natasha Romanoff and Yelena Bolova. They wind up stealing intel from S.H.I.E.L.D. and narrowly escape to Cuba after, a nice little chase going on there. They flee to Cuba and they meet their boss, General Drakov, and they separate them. The two girls get taken and put into what we all have learned through the years, to the Red Room for training to become assassins. Years later, Alexei is imprisoned, and obviously we know that Natasha was part of Shield, and we kind of learn through this that she becomes part of Shield after an incident in Budapest where she is trying to kill Dreykov but winds up killing his daughter. So after the flashback, we are now right after the battle at the airport in Civil War. If you recall, Natasha had let Steve and Bucky go, and Tony told the U.S. Secretary Thaddeus Ross T'Challa told Thaddeus Ross what happened. If you recall, Black Widow flees after talking to Tony. Well, we find out that she goes to a safe house in Norway, and she gets her supplies from a friend named Rick Mason. So while she's living life in like a little trailer, poor Yelena is kind of battling a rogue former Black Widow, and is able to come in contact with synthetic gas, and it actually neutralizes the Red Room's chemical that makes them like under like a mind control. So once that happens, she's able to get an antidote, and she sends the antidote to Natasha, hoping that the Avengers can help free all the other widows. And then she goes into hiding. But Natasha obviously doesn't know what happened, doesn't realize that she has the vials, and that, so she's driving, in Norway, and she gets attacked by a person called the Taskmaster. And what's crazy about the Taskmaster is that they can mimic anybody's fight style. So while she's fighting the Taskmaster, it's like she's fighting herself. It's actually really a great scene there on the bridge.
Yeah. Well, not only was she fighting herself, she was fighting Captain America too.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. I enjoyed that scene.
That was great.
Yes, it was. And she realizes that the vials came from Budapest. She goes to that apartment. She finds Yelena, and Yelena reveals that Dreykov is actually still alive, and that the Red Room is still active. Meanwhile, Natasha has thought that she stopped the Red Room, that Dreykov was dead, that, she thought she saved everybody, and it turns out she was wrong. The two of them get attacked by the Black Widows that are still under the mind control and the Taskmaster, but they manage to get away, and they get a lovely helicopter from Rick, who is Natasha's quote-unquote supplier. The two sisters break out Alexei from prison, and in order to learn Dreykov's location, and basically they find their former quote unquote mother, Yelena, and who lives on a farm outside St. Petersburg. She, I guess, has moved. Instead of being a Black Widow, she's there refining the chemical mind control that's used on the widow. So she's still working for them, but she's working just on the chemical. Yelena alerts Dreykov that Romanoff and Yelena and Alexei are all there, and they come and take them and attack them or whatever. We don't realize obviously at that time, but Yelena and Natasha wind up using a disguise. It's like a face mask technology, so they switch bodies, quote unquote. So when they take Natasha, they're really taking Yelena because she can break out, and so it's a whole ploy. But Dreykov, when he thinks he's talking to Yelena, he realizes that it's actually Natasha, and he reveals that Taskmaster is actually his daughter, Antonia, and that she suffered severe damage because of the explosion from Natasha and Clint, that big Budapest thing, and that he managed to put technology into her head that made her the perfect soldier, and that's why she's able to mimic the actions of anyone that she sees. So she watches a video of Natasha and, as we mentioned, Captain America, and that's why she can fight like them. It's really cool. So we then find out that Natasha is unable to actually physically attack Dreykov because he uses a pheromone that is installed in every widow that will stop them. But she learned about that from Yelena, so she breaks her nose and it severs the nerve to her nasal passage, so she no longer has to deal with the pheromone, and yeah, she takes care of that. Meanwhile, Alexei is battling the Taskmaster, and Melina is taking out the engines because this is they're in like a flying ship, and they wind up locking the Taskmaster in a cell. Meanwhile, Yelena, who had been taken but was able to escape and everything, goes to aid Natasha by exposing all of the Black Widows to the antidote. So they're able to realize like that they've been under mind control the entire time. Romanoff, or Natasha, before like she leaves, manages to copy the locations of every single widow worldwide from Dreykov's computer before it explodes, so that they can get antidotes to every single widow, so that the Black Widow program will be officially done. She's able to save 2 antidote vials. She manages to free Taskmaster from the lock cell so that she can escape. She's such a good woman, that Natasha. Her parents managed to escape out of a plane. Her sister is actually able to kill Dreykov by taking out his aircraft. So Dreykov is gone. And Romanoff is in a free fall. She gives Yelena the parachute, and then she starts fighting the Taskmaster. But they both manage to survive, and after Natasha had given the vial to the Taskmaster, she gives the last vial of the antidote to Yelena and tells her, where the other locations are with the widows so that she can make more antidote and free them. They all say goodbye at the end. And basically at the very end, we see Natasha, the blonde Natasha that we see in Infinity War. She gets a supplied Quinjet and is going to help Steve free the imprisoned Avengers. So she had officially freed the widow, so now she can go help her Avenger friends with Steve. And then in the post-credit scene, it's after Natasha died, and Yelena goes to her gravesite, is obviously very upset. And then Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, if you recall, we talked about her in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She had shown up. She comes and tells Yelena that it's Clint's fault that Natasha died, thus signing Clint as Yelena's next target.
Yes.
And that is the story of Black Widow. There's a lot of who gets the antidote, who doesn't, stuff at the end there. So I think I got everything right, so I apologize. But yeah, pretty much all the Black Widows got the antidote at the end.
Yes.
And the Taskmaster is free. And they all survive.
Yes.
And the bad guy dies. There you go.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
But yeah, so for me, I guess I'll just start. I really liked it. I thought it was a great movie. I went into it with no expectations. Obviously, I knew it was, I knew it wasn't like a, how she became even though they did kind of show us, but like, I wasn't sure really what the timing was. Like I said, in the beginning, I think people thought that it was kind of like after Infinity War, or, but then obviously you figure out very quickly that it's right after Civil War. And I really thought it, kind of sealed that one little piece in, like, where did Natasha go after she ran away from Tony? It's like she ran away from Tony in Civil War, and then we don't see her again until Infinity War. So where'd she go? Well, now we know. And we finally learned what happened in Budapest.
Yeah.
Infamous Budapest.
Yeah, I was starting to turn into the proverbial noodle incident.
What did you guys think?
I liked it. I did. I liked it. I thought they could have addressed a few things differently. More so the actual training that they had that in the red room, because I mean they kind of showed it, but they kind of glossed over it. It would have been nice to have seen a little bit more flashback on the actual training, but I can see why they didn't do it. It wasn't necessarily an integral part of the story, so. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I really did enjoy the movie. I really did enjoy how Natasha and Yelena were able to kind of joke about the forced hysterectomy that they were given.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it was.
Yelena was hilarious. She had
She
the
yes.
perfect amount of sass.
Yes,
Like,
she had a horrific traumatic experience and actually made it funny, which is very difficult to do.
It
Like,
is.
she was Florence did an amazing job. She was my favorite character.
Yes. Yes.
Very, yeah.
No.
A lot of sarcastic, dark humor to her,
Mhm.
which I can respect.
What do you think, Liz?
I mean, what I appreciate most about the movie was the fact that we kind of got like more about Natasha outside of the Avengers. Like we got to see who she was and, you know, how she ended up the way she ended up. And in a way it provided some sort of like, I guess, a closure to her story. In a way, I kind of wish that we had gotten this movie earlier than we did. I mean, I get with the bonus scene during the credits, like I get why, uh, you know, it kind of ended up being post Endgame that we saw this movie, but at the same time, it kind of feels like we should have seen it earlier, you know,
Yeah.
than we did.
I mean, because they could have added the post-credit scene to the end of really anything.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You know, that would still set up what it's setting up. So, yeah. No, I agree with honestly both of your whole things. Like part of me wishes that this was more history. You know, I mean, like we said, you learn the history of Natasha, but like again, seeing her in the red room, seeing her going through everything, what really like watching Budapest, seeing her and Clint meet, you know,
Yeah,
seeing Clint give
that's
her
what I
that
really think
chance,
would have
like
been good to see.
yeah, like I really kind of wish we got to see that type of thing because every other, obviously, you know, you got Thor's a god, so you know whatever. But we see how Tony became Iron Man. You see how Steve became, you know, Captain America. Obviously, we know how, or we saw how Bruce became Hulk. Like, you know, you see all that. Like, how did she, you know, become? We know the story, but it would be nice to have seen it. And then yeah, I agree. Like, I kind of wish like this story they would have brought it out after Civil War. I mean, they could have put it right there in Phase 3, and it would
Yeah.
have been fine.
Mhm.
You know, maybe or even in between Infinity War and Endgame. Done that too. So, but I thought it was a great movie. I thought the cast was perfect. I loved like the family. So as I obviously Scarlett Johansson is Natasha Romanoff. Florence Pugh is. Am I saying her last name right?
I thought it was Pew.
Pugh.
Yeah,
That
like
sounds better.
pew from a gun.
Pugh.
Pew.
Florence Pugh is Yelena Belova. Amazing.
Yes,
David Harbour, who, if no one knows who he is, he's from Stranger Things
and a lot of other
is,
movies too.
and a lot
But
of
yeah,
other things too. Yes.
but Stranger Things
He,
is one of his More
things,
recent.
more recent big things.
Yes.
That's Alexi. And then there she is. Rachel Weisz is Melina. So I just thought the four of them, like that one scene where they're all talking at the farmhouse, and they that's where like Yelena kind of expresses how much like to her it was real. Like Melina is her mother and Alexi is her father and Natasha is her sister. Like to her, like her childhood, like it was real, which made your heart really break.
Yeah.
Her, like, it's, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, she was 3 when they started the whole undercover operation. 3 years old.
Yeah.
She's
She's a
6
baby.
when they go back and she's taken to the Red Room at 6. I mean, and Natasha was taken even younger and started training.
Yeah.
But that was a hard scene for me to watch because I am a mom of a toddler and just thinking, I know it's not real, but it gets in your head. You can't help but, at least I couldn't help but compare Yelena to my daughter, going, she was 3 when they started this deception, and she was 6 when they took her to the Red Room. My daughter's almost 5. It's like, holy shit.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that scene, it's both, it's a mix of funny and sad, like it's just, yeah. So they filmed this back in 2019. I think it was obviously supposed to come out in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And was it July of 2020, I think?
May,
Yeah.
I think it was May of 2020, and then it just kept
Oh,
getting.
yes. May 2020 was originally supposed to come out. Obviously, we were in a lovely global pandemic,
Which we're still in.
in. So then it was going to
Everything's
be
in. Huh.
May 2021, and then it got delayed again
Until July.
until July of 2021.
Yep.
And the reason for the lovely lawsuit, Disney decided, along with putting it out into the movie theaters, that they were going to also, you paid the money for it, but you'd be able to watch it on Disney Plus. Now, the problem with that is that Scarlett Johansson, basically the amount of money was only coming from theaters. So they kind of screwed her
Mm-hmm.
out of money that she would have been owed if people had gone to the movie theater to see it. But, obviously, like I'm not going to lie, I watched it on Disney Plus. My friend, and I didn't even buy it. My friend bought it. We went to her house and I watched it.
I
Oh,
did buy it on Disney Plus. I did do that, but
Yeah.
no, I really screwed her over.
I got Disney Plus and I watched the movie that way as well.
So, Scarlett's agent, CAA, basically made a statement because when the lawsuit first came out, Disney issued a statement basically saying that, she is being a whiny baby and that they did this because of COVID-19. And she's complaining, like really kind of tried to make her look bad. And so her agent made a statement against Disney saying that being insensitive, but Disney really screwed her over. Like, it's fine if you were gonna allow it to be on Disney Plus. At the same time, like, then her contract should have been changed to allow that, because as a result, I think it was like $20 million she was owed or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like a crazy amount. Thankfully, I mean, after a while, it was all settled. They moved it to arbitration. I mean, Disney can afford it, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
But, it, and, it what was really sad was people were like, "Oh my god, like this is it. Like Scarlett can never work with Disney again." So like if they ever wanted to like do anything with Black Widow in terms of like flashbacks or something, couldn't like she wouldn't be able to come. But I guess everything kind of worked itself out because if I remember reading there's like a secret thing going on now with Marvel and Scarlett about Black Widow. Am I making that up?
I'm not sure.
There might be a something happening.
Yeah, I heard there's like something potentially happening because I think in an interview or an article recently, she kind of indicated that she looked forward to working with them again, and there's like currently conversation going on between her and Disney, but mystery.
Maybe she's not really dead. She survived.
Well, that is a
Or
prevailing
Steve got
theory.
her.
That is a prevailing theory, considering that when Steve went back to return the Soul Stone, why wouldn't she come back? Why wouldn't they allow her to come back?
Soul for a soul.
A soul for a soul. It was the soul gem for a soul. If he was smart, that's what he would have done. He would have said, "You can have it back, but I want her back."
Mm-hmm. Need to know, Steve. What did you do?
Exactly.
Another possibility could be maybe with the multiverse shenanigans that we're starting to get in phase 4. There is always a possibility that Scarlett as Natasha could show up as a alternate version.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true. So, something that we all have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So let me see. I wanted to go through, see if there's any fun trivia with this.
I just know I can't wait to see more of Yelena and see how
Yes.
her story arc is going to go, because she's hilarious.
Oh, absolutely.
She's funny.
I heard she's well, I mean, like based off of the fact that, the movie ended with her being told your next target is a certain archer that we all know. I would imagine she'll be in Hawkeye. You would think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility.
Yeah,
But
I need to catch up on that. Damn it.
We all do. We
yeah,
all do.
I only watched the first 2 episodes.
Same. No, I watched the third. I did watch the third episode. I haven't watched. What is it? We're up to 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or is it 5?
might be 5. Oh, you want to know one of my favorite parts also?
Yes.
It's kind of like a series of things. Yelena is making fun of the pose.
Yes.
Natasha's superhero pose.
Yeah.
And then at the end when they're in Dreykov's like floating like ship thing and she jumps
Right.
through from the vent and she lands and she like gets like chills because she just like it like roasts her out.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah. That was good. Those recurring jokes.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep,
that
yep.
was great. I loved it.
And I know at some point, again, that conversation where they were at the farmhouse or whatever, they did mention the Winter Soldier program. So Bucky got talked about a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I know in the comics, Bucky and Natasha had a thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't Bucky actually train
Yes.
the widows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hydra's part of Red Room.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, I can understand why some comic book readers were almost, like, upset the way, like, Natasha was talking about the Winter Soldier in the movie The Winter Soldier, because, like, she talked about it like he was, like, a mystery, like, she didn't know who he was or, whatever, when in actual reality, she knew exactly who he was.
Yeah.
But, again, I guess, well, see, I guess my question is the mind controlling, thing was it like after Natasha was gone? Like I don't know, like, or did she have it and she just overcame it? Like, how did that work? I don't think they ever explained how Natasha was able to kind of like
No,
switch
they did.
sides.
It was because
They?
of Natasha that they started the mind control, the
Okay.
chemical.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
It was because she
She left.
defected. She defected from Hydra slash the Red Room and the USSR and went to the US and went to Shield that they started the chemical brainwashing mind control of the widows.
There you go. It's Natasha's fault.
It's all Natasha's fault, but you know what? We love her anyway.
Yes, we do. I really
And
wish we could have like watched Budapest though with her and Clint.
I know that would have been awesome.
That bugs me.
I know because they allude to it and they kind of talk about it, but they never show what actually really happened.
Like
I
when they
mean,
were
not
hiding in
really.
like the subway station, you see where they hid and how they were marking the days, and so, like she talked about it a little bit.
Yeah,
And
but I
like
mean,
obviously you know what the mission was and all that stuff, but like you don't see like the way Clint and Natasha talked about Budapest was like it was like a blast, you know? So like
yeah.
what
Well,
happened?
they also Clint has also said we remember Budapest in very very differently. So I would love to have seen. I would love to see it from both their points of view.
Yeah.
How each one of them actually remembers it.
Right.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Liz. I thought that this was a good way to kind of send off the Black Widow, like she is officially on,
Yeah.
so to speak, even though we're waiting to see if maybe not, but
I mean, it is the multiverse of madness. You never know.
I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, there's just too many possibilities here, so it's like it really, where it's like anything goes at this point.
Yeah. Although technically Black Widow is not gone because technically
Yelena.
Yelena is a Black Widow.
Yes.
Right.
So, and there's a lot more out there.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Widow is technically not gone.
Right, because the end of the movie it leaves it open. Like where did they all go? Like did they stick together? Did they split up? Did they like form like their own
Mm-hmm.
mercenary for hire type of thing? I mean, we don't know.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if we would get a Black Widow to showcasing Yelena as the main widow
Mhm.
with the other widows as well, especially with oh god, Valentina in the picture.
Yes. So you want to know what's funny is like obviously at the end of Phase 3, Endgame, that was like the very beginning of, and I know we talked about this before, but like the beginning of Marvel, that story has pretty much concluded. Like that's over. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Tony's gone, Steve's gone, Natasha's gone. You know, everything's different, everything's changed. So now we have Phase 4, which is like after 2 of Marvel, where you know we have a new Captain America now. Wanda has kind of gone off the rails.
Yeah,
Um,
she went a little off the deep end.
Loki started the multiverse.
Well, a version of him started the multiverse.
Correct. A variant of him started the multiverse. Uh,
Vision is now all white,
yes,
and he has gone somewhere.
Vision's gone. We don't know where. And he's a different version of himself.
Exactly.
And we're about to find out soon about Peter.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the midst of finding out what's going on with Clint.
And Doctor Strange is coming. We're gonna see what happens with the Doctor Strange.
Yep. But it's like it's just kind of funny how you know, and again we talked about this, how it's almost like they're setting up the quote unquote young Avengers type of
Mm-hmm.
deal where you know Yelena could be the next quote unquote Black Widow, but you have the
Yeah.
next Captain America. could
Yeah,
Kate
well, Kate Bishop
in
takes over for
for
Hawkeye, at
Clint
least in the comics.
comics, right? So it's
Well,
like it seems like that's kind of setting up that
yeah.
aspect.
I mean, obviously, we saw Wanda's children. What is it? Speed and
Mhm.
Wizard?
Wiccan.
Wiccan. Well, at least that'll be their
Powers.
Avenger names. Because they were in the Young Avengers, so I assume we're probably going to see them make a reappearance at some point.
Yeah, I mean the bonus scene from WandaVision kind of implies that she can
Hear
somehow
them.
hear them or whatever. Whether that means she's hearing them from another reality or it's a version of the comic book storyline to a certain degree where it's like she thinks she heard them, but did she really? Or
Right,
again,
or is she like losing it?
yeah, so it's like those are many questions we're gonna have to wait until, like, I guess the Doctor Strange movie to get some kind of answer for.
Yeah. Because I have a feeling they're setting Wanda up to be the villain of that movie. That they're going to have to stop her from doing something.
Oh,
Or
I hope
help
not.
her in some way. I don't know.
I love Wanda.
I don't know.
There's
We'll see.
one character so far that I think should get his own movie, and it's not going to happen, and I know that, and it's annoying, but it's Bucky. I want to know what happens with Bucky.
Yeah,
What
they
happens?
never really did execute like his
No, he was just kind of
origin
there.
Story. Yeah. They talked about it, but they never really.
He was just there. Like, what happens to him?
Yeah.
Is he still gonna fight? Is he done? Is he, apparently made amends in like 2 seconds? So is he like retiring? Like, go chill with Sam on the dock? Like what?
Yeah. But I would like to see his backstory from the time he was captured by Hydra
Mm-hmm.
until.
Yeah, that would be a great movie.
Yeah. Because, I
Ooh.
mean, it took them 20 years to break him.
Yeah.
20 years to break the man.
He had will. He had a lot of will to survive, and
Yeah.
uh,
Because Natasha
all it
said the
took was
last 50
looking at
years.
right,
At
but he
that,
was with them for 70. Yep.
exactly. So it took them 20 years to break him, taking him off and in and out of ice. Good Lord. Whew.
Mm.
But
Anyway.
that would be, I think that would be that would make one hell of a story. From the
Kevin.
time he fell off the train to the beginning of Civil War.
Yeah. Kevin, you hearing this?
Yeah. Come on, Feige. I guarantee you Sebastian will probably jump at the opportunity.
I mean, I would hope so. I would hope so. I mean, he loves Bucky as much as we do, so.
Exactly. I don't think he would say no.
No.
I mean, Bucky made him famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Oh, absolutely. He knows it. He said it. Marvel saved his life. So he knows where his bread is buttered.
Yep.
So, Kevin. Kevin.
If you're listening, Kevin Feige, please, we are begging you. And I'm telling you, there's going to be lots of people that would love to see this story happen.
Seriously.
Do the backstory, the origin story of the actual Winter Soldier. Don't give him a friggin' movie and put him in a fourth of the damn thing and say, we're done.
Not even. He was like underneath.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was a Captain America movie, but you can't just say, oh yeah, he's the Winter Soldier and he's been the Winter Soldier for the last 50 years. No.
Right.
What happened?
Like, did he kill JFK? Like, I need to know.
I have to know.
I think he did.
Yes, he did.
Based off of not that we have to go into all this, but like in Winter Soldier when they were in the bunker or whatever, I think it mentioned when they were like going through everything, I think it mentioned JFK in there. So
I'm pretty sure it did. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, so Kevin,
Come on, Feige.
take,
You can do it.
take care of that.
I guarantee
anything-
you'll make millions off of it.
Oh yeah, for a secondary character, he has like almost most of like the most fans. Even Loki, like for secondary characters, like it's crazy how many fans they have.
Yeah. But I mean, I understand he got a TV show out of it, but he wasn't the main of that TV show because that to me the show was about Sam, and rightly
Which is
so.
fine. Yeah, absolutely. It was about his struggle to come, does he want to be Captain America and all that. I 100% understood that, and I get that.
Yes.
I just thought the writing was terrible in regards to Bucky. Like they could have done so much more. And it was like it was very clear that Bucky was an afterthought.
Yep. I would like to see him get his own. Although it makes me wonder if he'll be in the next Captain America movie with Sam.
I haven't announced anything yet, but I mean it's early because they haven't even written it yet. So
yeah. We just know that there's going to be a Captain America 4 and Sam is going to be Captain America. That's pretty much all we know.
Correct.
So.
Anything else on Black Widow?
No, I just hope I just hope I see more of Yelena because she's hilarious.
Yes, we love Yelena.
We do. I mean, don't get us all wrong. We love Natasha too, but Yelena just takes it to a whole new level.
It's that sass. It's the sassafras.
I know.
For it.
Yes, she's just like we stand Yelena on this podcast.
She was great. She was.
Yes.
Okay, so before we close out, as usual, we have an email address where you can send us questions, comments, criticisms on how to improve our show. You can email us at threefatesdecide@gmail.com. It's the title of our podcast, all in one word, and the 3 is spelled out.
And you can also reach us on Instagram at threefatesdecide. The 3 is spelled out. And feel free to send us DMs.
Let us know what you think. We love feedback.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Catch us next time.
And see what we're going to talk about.
Because the 3 fates decide.